Some people were asking me about, can I continue to collect my Social Security in the Philippines? And today we're going to talk about the process of, yes, you will be able to collect your money in the Philippines. And, well, not all the time. There will be some exceptions. So you will have to check with Social Security Office depending on what kind of benefit you're getting. This is what we'll talk about. Stay with me. There is a way you can get your money from the U.S. Social Security to the Philippines. If you're thinking of living in the Philippines permanently or for the most part, and you want your check or your Social Security benefit, I should say, to be received in the Philippines, there is a way to do that. And let's take a look and see how you can accomplish that. To begin with, did you know that over 500,000 people who live outside the United States receive Social Security benefit, including retired and disabled workers, as well as spouses? If you use a foreign bank, it may charge fees, for international transaction for which you will be responsible for. So you have to watch out for that. If you're a U.S. citizen now, you may receive your Social Security payments outside of the U.S. if you reside in any of the 50 states of the United States, the District of Columbia, Puerto Rico, and other territory of the United States, as long as you are eligible. So the first thing you will determine is, are you eligible? And that's not what we're going to talk about. We'll talk about how you can transfer the money. If you're already receiving Social Security, well, good for you. That means you are eligible, right? So, but you need to know what kind of Social Security that is. One example is if you're receiving an SSI, okay, which is like a welfare. You will not be able to get in the Philippines if you're out there longer than 30 days. Well, you should be back in the United States within 30 days for you to receive that SSI benefit. Other than that, you'll be able to get this benefit, but you have to check with the Social Security Office about that, okay? Now, non-U.S. citizens who qualify for benefits, again, qualification must be met, may be able to get them abroad depending on your country of citizenship and country of residence. For example, if you're residing in Cuba, or even if you are a U.S. citizen but you're residing in Cuba, you may not be able to get your benefit. If you're traveling outside the U.S., you must tell Social Security the date you plan to leave and the date you plan to come back, no matter how long you expect to travel, for your travel to last. As a practical matter, I wouldn't worry about this. If you're only going to be away for 30, 60, even 90 days, you could be traveling and going on a cruise or whatever, maybe going from country to country to country, and you'll be away. Those are minor details. I wouldn't worry about it. I would worry about it if you decide to permanently reside in a foreign country. Okay? That's what we're talking about here. Social Security defines living outside the United States as not residing in one of the 50 states or U.S. territories for at least 30 days in a row. If you return to the United States and stay more than 30 consecutive days, you are no longer considered to be living abroad. So that is by definition now. By definition, 30 days you're out of the country. That means you're considered living abroad. Use this online link to see if you can continue to receive your Social Security benefits if you're going outside the United States or planning to go outside of the United States. Social Security Administration.gov, blah, blah, blah. This link is going to be down below. So if you're not sure if you'll be able to get your benefit, go to this link and you will get your answer, okay? Or you can contact Social Security Office, Earnings and International Operations, and there is a phone number where you can call. Or apply at the local office of the U.S. Embassy in the Philippines by setting up an appointment and checking with them. I think Cebu has U.S. Embassy is in Cebu also. So if you're closer to Cebu than you are in Manila, go to the office. When you live outside the States, you will receive a questionnaire every year or two. This is very important for those people living in the Philippines. Every year or two, you will get a questionnaire. Your answers will help determine if you are still eligible for benefit or if you're still alive. If you don't return the questionnaire, your payments will stop. You can also read publication number, blah, blah, blah. Again, this link is going to be down below if you need a little bit more information about your Social Security benefit. Social Security will not send money to anyone residing in Cuba or North Korea, although affected U.S. citizens can recoup payment once they move elsewhere. So let's say a Cuban U.S. citizen went to Cuba. You're a U.S. citizen now. So technically, you should be able to receive the money in any country except these two countries. But so benefit will stop once you move to Cuba. But then let's say from Cuba you went to the Philippines. You'll be able to recoup payments that were held back because of that. Americans living in the following countries, some of these I have not even heard of, and it's hard to pronounce. I've heard of Belarus and Moldova. You can only receive Social Security under restriction. One of the restriction is for you agreeing to report to the U.S. Embassy every 6 months. Every 6 months. But I don't know why that is, but in these countries you are required to do that. Now, here is an unconfirmed information, yet very important. So I'll ask you to do additional homework on this when you're ready to do your request for your benefit to be sent to the Philippines or any foreign country. Your bank account should be in the name of the Social Security beneficiary only and not jointly with someone else. Thus, you need an account set up specifically for Social Security deposits and withdrawal only. Only, okay? Account cannot be used for any other purpose. No online transactions, no ATM withdrawals, okay? It's only for money to get into that account. And then, that bank in the Philippines requires you to personally make withdrawal to withdraw money in your account. Thus, be sure to select a bank that is convenient for you to make withdrawals. Then open another account with ATM or online transaction capability. So when you go to the bank, you withdraw your money, put it in this other account, then you can make your ATM withdrawal and online transactions through this allowed account. But the specially opened Social Security account should only be deposit, withdrawal, personal withdrawal, deposit, withdrawal. So please check with your local bank regarding this requirement, since this could vary by bank or this could change. Now, I'm not aware of any U.S. requirement that says you need to do this. So this is probably either just a bank policy, a specific bank policy, or a banking regulation, which means applies to all banks. So the first thing you need to do is which bank is convenient for me that accepts Social Security deposit and withdrawal. And then inquire about these two things. Be sure you are aware of that. Now the question is, which bank should I call? This is the list of banks, but these two could be obsolete. This could change every day. There could be some deletions here or additions here. So check with any local bank and inquire. And this was the bank. You can just go ahead and freeze this video if you want to see if your local bank is included. But again, ask that bank, because it's possible they used to be part of this Social Security agreement and now they're no longer part of it. I'm only aware that about 5 years ago I called the Philippine National Bank in New York, because that's where PNB is, in the East Coast. And unfortunately, I couldn't open an account. They said I have to go out there and personally open an account. Well, that's the Philippine way of doing things. Everything is in person, and you sign, and maybe you sit there in a queue, and And these are the fees too. And I believe Philippine National Bank was $7 before for each Social Security check that comes in. And they will automatically transfer it to any bank in the Philippines. Okay? Because PNB had an agreement with Social Security. Now here is the form from Social Security Administration specifically for the Philippines. Now as you can see, you will need to obtain, let's go down here first. You will need to go to the bank first because you will need to put your bank account, phone number, address, and signature of bank official, which means you really need to open up an account first. After you inquire and they say, oh yeah, we have Social Security and our fee is so much, then you will need to be assigned an account number, get the SWIFT number from them. After you get this, you fill out the rest of the form, your Social Security number, your complete mailing address, telephone number, your signature, etc., etc. Okay? Now, here's the thing. It says joint account holder's signature. Well, you're not allowed to open a joint account. So what is this for? I don't know. I'm not sure. Check with the bank. A new representative, payee, beneficiary, date of birth, blah, blah, blah. So this is the form. And down here, there is instruction. Okay? Now, there is also a link down below for you to see to get a copy of this form. When you click that link, you'll be sent a PDF file. You locate where the PDF file is in your computer, print it out. Then read the direction, read everything. Okay? So this is all I have for today. I'll appreciate it if you can share this with other people, because I'm sure a lot of people in the Philippines are planning to go to the Philippines and they will need to know this. In my case, I'm not going through this process because I will continue to be a resident of the United States, but I'll be spending a lot of time in the Philippines, and my checks or benefits will go straight to my bank account in the US, and I will just make a withdrawal from there as I need the money. Okay? Otherwise, it will just sit there and it'll be there when I come back. Social Security Administration does not need to be involved. That's why I say, even though they say 30 days, I ignore that, okay? Because as a practical matter, I'll be in and out of the country, but I will keep my residence in the United States. But if you are abandoning residence in the United States, you're living in the Philippines permanently, make sure you make this arrangement. It will be a lot easier for you. Now, it may take a couple of months for you to get everything accomplished and done, but you're not going to lose anything because whatever back pay you have, they're going to give you. Okay? So that's all I have for today. I'll appreciate it if you click like, and you do share this with other people, and subscribe to my channel unless you have already done so. Thank you so much for watching. God bless, and make it a great day.